Welcome everybody to this is our third weekly Barrington Nutritionals Innovations webinar, where we do quick, informative information sharing on immune support ingredients. And today we are lucky enough to have our friends from Algatech with us, Ken Seguin, head of Algatech United States, and we have Dr. Solly Brower, the Chief Science Officer for Algatech in Israel. And we'll be recording this webinar and posting it to our website. If you go to the barringtonnutritionals.com website, you can find, you'll be able to find this recording as well as past webinar recordings, in addition to white papers and product spec sheets. So with that, did you have that, are you flipping through the slides here? There we go. There's the people I just introduced.
And the next slide. Great. Well, thank you very much, Chris. Let's get started. So we are Algatech, and we are a leading global producer of ingredients and products made from microalgae. And really our company vision is to bring the good that's in microalgae to the world. We were established way back in 1998. We've been making astaxanthin since then. We are now part of the Salabia group, and our production facility, and you can see the picture there, is located in the very dry but very pure Arava Desert in southern Israel. Globally, we have about 1,000 active customers. We're selling in about 35 countries, and the processes that we use to produce our ingredients are inherently eco-friendly, and science and innovation are woven into the DNA of Algatech. And I want to turn things over to Dr. Brower for the science presentation.
Hi, everyone. We are going to talk about the immune system and astaxanthin today. And as you know, our immune system is essential for our survival and for keeping us healthy. Without the immune system, our body would not be able to fight bacteria, parasites, and other pathogens, viruses, and other pathogens that may attack our body. This system is an incredibly complex system involving many types of cells, organs, proteins, and tissues. We can actively support our immune system by leading a healthy lifestyle, which includes reducing stress, quitting smoking, and very important, eating healthy and balanced diet. There are certain functional ingredients which studies suggest that they may help in promoting immune resilience, and today we'll talk about one of them, which is the astaxanthin. Astaxanthin is a part of the carotenoid family. It has a red dark pigment, and it is one of the most powerful antioxidants in nature. It is much more potent than vitamin C and vitamin E, and it has beneficial effect much more than only antioxidant activity. It has other activities, and today we'll talk about the immune-related function of the astaxanthin. It is naturally found in food like salmon, and as a dietary supplement, it has been in market for over 30 years. You can see here in red, this is the astaxanthin molecule. And as you can see, it penetrates, this is the cell membrane. So it goes throughout the membrane, and because of its unique structure, it enables both from the internal and external to protect the cell from oxidative stress. So that's in comparison to other antioxidants like this, the vitamin C, which is water soluble and cannot penetrate the membrane, and therefore can protect cells only from the outer, not from inside. Since astaxanthin has been in use for many years, there are over 500 studies that were published in showing the effect of astaxanthin on various organs and body functions. And you have here the list, and it's even a longer list. And today we'll talk about the immune system. Astaxanthin can support immune function in various ways. There are studies that show that it promotes antibody production, and the antibodies are protective proteins that are produced by B cells in response to the presence of foreign substances that are called antigens. And antibodies recognize and latch onto antigens in order to remove them from the body. And I'll show you in a minute a study that showed the effect on antibody production. In addition, astaxanthin may support immune cell proliferation, and we'll see an example of a study as well. And also, it has a potential for balancing antioxidant and oxidation balance. Oxidation is part of the immune response, but when the balance is disrupted, overproduction of reactive oxygen molecules can lead to cell damage, and therefore it's very important to keep the balance. And also anti-inflammatory activity. Now I will show you several studies that were published, few with the human human and a few with the animal or cell models. This first study that I will show you was conducted in order to evaluate the effect of astaxanthin on antibody production and oxidative balance. And the study was a randomized double-blind placebo-controlled study, included 40 soccer players that were divided to two groups. One group was treated with 4 milligrams per day astaxanthin, and the other group received placebo. They all consumed astaxanthin for 90 days. And what the graphs here show us, here, we see the concentration of salivary IgA. What is IgA? IgA is an antibody type that plays a crucial role in immune function of mucous membranes, such as found in the mouth, nose, trachea, and lungs. And lower concentrations of salivary IgA are associated with an increased frequency of upper respiratory tract infection episodes. And here you can see when we compare the level of IgA before the subject were treated, and after 90 days, you can see that the concentration was much higher in the astaxanthin group, and even it was statistically significant. And when comparing to the placebo group, you see that there was mostly no change, a bit even less IgA in the salivary. And in addition to the measuring of the IgA concentration, they also measured in the blood the pro-oxidant, antioxidant balance. And you can see here also the group that was treated with astaxanthin. There is a big and nice difference between the before and after. A decrease, which was statistically significant. And when compared to the placebo, which the reduction was very small and not significant. So we conclude from this study that astaxanthin may enhance the production of antibodies. Another study that was conducted included 42 participants in a double-blind randomized placebo-controlled study. Subjects were, there were 3 groups of subjects. 2 received different doses of astaxanthin, 2 and 8 milligrams, and the third group received placebo, and they all received it for 8 weeks. And the study wanted to investigate the effect of the supplementation of astaxanthin on immune cell proliferation and oxidative balance. And here you can see that T cells and B cells level of the placebo were low, slightly elevated at the 2 milligram, and higher level at the 8 milligram. And just to explain what T and B cells are the cells that produce antibodies and also help alert the T cells like lymphocytes. And T cells destroy compromised cells in the body and help alert other white blood cells. In addition, they measure the damage that the oxidation can do to DNA by measuring level of certain molecule that serves as a marker for oxidative DNA damage. And here you can see that in the placebo group, the damage was much higher and it was reduced in the astaxanthin and even more in the 8 milligram group than the 2 milligram group. So from this study, we can conclude that the astaxanthin may influence immune cell proliferation. Another study, I would like to show you the anti-inflammatory activity of astaxanthin. Now, there are publications that show the anti-inflammatory activity of astaxanthin on various organs of the body, but here I chose to show you the anti-inflammatory effect on the lungs. Since the lungs are directly exposed to very high amount of oxygen, it is important to protect them from possible oxidative challenge. And you'll see a list of references at the end of this presentation. There are several published studies that included animal models with the different methods to induce lung inflammation and damage, and also studies that used human lung cells that were collected from biopsies. And here you can see photos of slides that were taken from mice that half of them were a control. They were exposed to cigarette smoke, and the other group received astaxanthin and then was exposed to the smoke. And you can see very nicely here in the control here, you see the empty space. This is a damaged tissue, and the reason for the empty space is that some of the cells died, which is this is how lung emphysema looks like. If you look here, you see that the lung, after exposure to smoke, to cigarette smoke, is almost identical to the photograph here with the astaxanthin before the exposure. So you see that the astaxanthin has a effect and a protective effect on the lung. The other studies show that consumption of astaxanthin reduced oxidative stress, inflammation, and pulmonary cell death. Just to clarify that cigarette smoke is associated with increased production of pro-inflammatory mediators, increasing inflammation and emphysema formation, and it also appears to be a major risk factor for respiratory tract infections. So we can see here that the astaxanthin has a protective effect, and also that it reaches the lung after consumption per os. Another animal study was conducted in order to evaluate the effect of astaxanthin on cytokines, and here you can see the study was designed. The mice first were infected with the bacteria called Helicobacter pylori, and after all the mice were infected, they were divided to 3 groups. One, the control group, and 2 groups that received the astaxanthin in 2 different doses, 10 milligram and 40 milligrams. And then at 3 different time points, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, and 6 weeks, the spleen was removed, and the cells from the spleen, which is a very important organ for the immune system, those cells were again were stimulated with H. pylori, And you can see in the 3 graphs here that the cytokines were elevated in the treatment group with the astaxanthin after 6 weeks of treatment. Cytokines are small secreted proteins released by cells and have specific effect on immune response, and they help for the interaction and communication between cells. They are pro and anti-inflammatory cytokines, and the 3 cytokines that were investigated here and show elevation after treatment with astaxanthin, all of them are anti-inflammatory. TFN gamma is a cytokine that is critical for immunity against viral infections. It actually inhibits viral replication directly. It's also important in bacterial and protozoal infection. IFN gamma is also important activator of macrophages. IL-2 is part of the body natural response to microbial infection and is discriminating between foreign and self, which is important for preventing autoimmune diseases. And it also inhibits the viral replication and has direct effect on T cells. And the last one, IL-10, is a cytokine with multiple effects on immunoregulation and inflammation. I would like to briefly talk about the Algatech product, which is called Arava. And this is a whole algae product. Many products, astaxanthin products, are not whole algae, but they are oil extract, most of them. And this product is special because we have not only the 3% astaxanthin inside it, we have also minerals, protein, lipids, and 50% of polysaccharides and dietary fibers, which also have a known effect on the immune system. And to see the benefit of the Arava powder, we have conducted a study that was performed on human white blood cells. Immune cells produce and use high amount of ROS. ROS are chemically reactive molecules containing oxygen, such as single oxygen, peroxide, and more. And as part of they produce those ROSs as a part of their anti-pathogen warfare. However, immune cells are particularly sensitive to oxidative stress, and disruption of the antioxidant balance can result in damage to cell membrane, protein, and DNA, and therefore it's important to maintain the balance. So we took the Arava, and first we took white blood cells from healthy volunteers, incubated them with the whole algae Arava aqueous extract, which contains all the compounds that are water soluble apart from the astaxanthin. And after incubation for 24 hours, we induced oxidative stress with the H2O2 and then measure the levels of the ROS. And here you can see very nicely that the control had high levels of ROS, and all 3 doses of astaxanthin had lower levels than the control. The 0.4 and 0.08 were also statistically significant, lower and different from the control. And the 0.016 was smaller, but it was not significant. So we can see kind of a dose curve response. Ken?
Thank you very much, Soli. That was fascinating. I was especially interested in the lung function benefits. Very interesting. So thank you so much, Barrington, for this opportunity. And we would be delighted, both Algatech and Barrington, to talk to any of you about creating some cool, innovative products. We are very proud to produce Astapure with the highest purity. It's the most natural of the astaxanthins. We rely on the sun. We do not use artificial light. And because of that, we actually have the highest commercial concentration of astaxanthin, more than 95% of the total carotenoids. We're consistent quality, sustainable production. Our facility is solar powered and contaminant free with all of our certifications in place, including organic, non-GMO project verified and others. Soli, we have had a few questions come in and I'm wondering if we could answer them. First off, is astaxanthin water soluble?
No, astaxanthin is oil soluble, and usually it's better to consume it with the food, so it's better absorbed.
The one thing I would like to add to that is our Arava powder that you mentioned, our whole algae product. It is water dispersible, so it is not in an oil form necessarily, and also at some point, probably by next year, we are going to have a cold water soluble astaxanthin. Next question, could you say what is the color, the flavor, and the aroma of astaxanthin?
The color is reddish, and when you swallow a capsule or a soft gel, it doesn't have really any taste and smell.
And then could you speak a little bit about the questions come in on the difference maybe on the actual astaxanthin molecule between microalgae derived and yeast derived astaxanthin?
There is a bit, I don't have a slide to show it, but there is a bit difference in the structure of the molecule. And the studies I've described here were mainly conducted with the microalgae. There is more data on the Hematococcus origin astaxanthin.
Soli, how many milligrams per day would you recommend for an immune support formula?
Between 4 and 8 milligrams. There are studies even that had higher doses. I didn't mention at the beginning, it's very, very safe product since it is consumed for so many years by so many people. We know the safety profile and it's very, very safe, even in a higher doses, but the recommended doses are 4 to 8 milligrams.
Question has come in, Soli, are there any side effects to astaxanthin given at these doses?
Almost none. Maybe some people have slight discomfort in the mainly, no. Stomach ache sometimes, but most people can take astaxanthin for a long time without any adverse events. Young people, old people, no problem with that.
Yes, it's a very safe compound.
Yeah.
Another question has come in regarding really how we go about producing. Is our process a batch mode of production or continuous mode?
I prefer you answer this.
We are continuously making our product in batches. How about that? So, it's as you can see on our website, we have the very beautiful all glass tubing, and we keep it busy producing more Hematococcus pluvialis and then astaxanthin on an almost continuous basis.
And I know you touched on this, Ken, but I think it's an important point. The difference between the astaxanthin oleoresin and your whole algae powder. Can you maybe just touch on that real quick and what some of the differences are?
You know, and I think the oleo resin is really the most common format that both consumers and many people in our business are familiar with. And it's CO2 extracted. So it's an oil. We use a diluent of extra virgin olive oil in our product as the diluent. And so most commonly, consumers are encountering it as a soft gel. One of the benefits of the Arava powder, as Soli was talking about, is that we have the whole algae. You're having the astaxanthin along with the other naturally occurring constituents that are in the microalgae itself. And it has a very nice whole food story about it, because that I think consumers are ready to hear and receive. And in fact, we do have some data now showing that there are, in fact, additional benefits to the non-lipid, non-astaxanthin fractions of that whole algae powder. And this powder opens up a whole other area of potential uses. It would be ideal for use in a ready-to-mix formulation that you would have perhaps in a sachet, along with other ingredients. And so it allows you to have this nice whole food story, also the benefit of other delivery system. And then just conceptually, it's really the most natural form of astaxanthin you could possibly have.
And is that available in an organic certified version?
Yes, both the oleo resin and the Arava powder are available certified organic, and of course, non-GMO project verified. All of the other qualifications are in place.
Well, that's good information. Thank you. Thanks both to Ken and Soli. We very much appreciate. If there are no other questions, why don't we go ahead and wrap this up? But again, thank you for joining us, and thanks to all the participants. Again, this will be recorded and stored on our website for future viewing. If you have colleagues that did not get a chance to see this today, we'll also post the slide deck, and the white paper will be on there as well.
Great.
All right,
Thank you
we got
so much.
you in the chat function, so appreciate that. All right, everybody, have a great day, great week, and we'll catch you next week. We're going to keep these webinars going as long as people are interested in learning new things. So,
Thank you, Chris. Bye-bye.
thanks. Bye.